He is ready. Just when you thought this Warriors bench couldn't get any deeper, we are seeing a rookie completely outperform his expectations throughout the beginning of the preseason. With the help of Steve Kerr and the rest of this coaching staff, I expect Will Richard to be a role player for this Golden State Warriors team by the end of the season. What's going on, everybody in Houston? Well, you're watching Warriors Digest, and I know you're thinking to yourself, how is it even possible? This team already has so many young guards, and not just young guards, but experienced guards, quick guards, good three-point shooting guards. How are we possibly going to find room to get Will Richard into the game? Well, after watching him play a couple of preseason games, it is clear this kid is a stud, and he's been doing this for a while in college, putting up 18 points in the national championship last season. He knows how to win big games. He shows up in the clutch, and boy, am I happy to have him on our team. And before we get into all things Will Richard and the rest of this Warriors organization, as we are just 6 days away from tip-off on the away opener for the Golden State Warriors in Los Angeles against the Lakers on October 21st. Want to remind you guys to hit that subscribe button. Here's just a couple of things we have upcoming in the next couple of days. A video talking about Steph Curry, the fouls, and how that's going to affect his potential to be at a point this season where he could be competing legitimately because of the spacing that the rest of this roster provides to compete for an MVP. We're going to be doing Eastern and Western Conference standing predictions. We're going to be doing hot takes, cold takes, all the things before the beginning of the year. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. We have so much exciting content coming your way before things are ready to go next Tuesday. So let's talk about Will Richard and the absolute rookie sensation, truly, that he has been throughout the first couple of games. We signed him to a 4-year deal just before training camp and after being drafted. And you talk about Will Richard as a guy who we move a couple of spots up in the draft to be able to draft him. The organization feels solid about him. Obviously, the experience at Florida winning the national championship, but you don't know a whole lot about how he's going to mesh as a legitimate NBA player. Some of these guys do very well at the college level. They come into the NBA and they don't quite understand the fit or the mold of what it's like to commit to your role on an NBA roster, especially for a guy like Will, who was a fantastic scorer in college. And what we've seen from him over these last couple days have been absolute fantastic basketball being played and a commitment to playing the right way regardless of your role. I have to agree right here on the thoughts on Will Richard after 4 preseason games. Can knock down threes at a consistent rate, brings great tenacity on defense, a great hustle player, strong finisher around the rim, already looks like a confident passer, plays within a certain calmness. And these are the exact 5 takeaways that I probably would have had when watching his game, is that he knocks down threes at a consistent rate. He looks really good from the three-point line in all different levels, all different spaces throughout the floor. He's had a couple from the corners, one early in the shot clock, kick from Steph to the corner, quick shot from Will, and it looked pure, and Steph's pointing at him looking, hey, I mean, imagine being a rookie coming into the league and getting Steph Curry passing you assists for 3 balls, and you're the guy that's knocking them down. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Has to be an absolute joy for Will Richard. He said meeting Steph Curry was a top 3 moment in his life, and I don't blame him. Great tenacity on defense. He's a hustle guy. He might be a better shooting Gary Payton, honestly, if you kind of compare a little bit of what they do. Not a high flyer like Gary, but I will say from a rotation standpoint, you start to wonder if Will continues to look good, is there an opportunity for him to cut out some of those minutes and find a way to become a consistent piece of this rotation? I certainly hope so, but it's hard because this unit has so much depth. Finding minutes at the 2 and 3 guard spot is going to be difficult for these guys. Great hustle player, strong finisher around the rim, passing the ball. Looks like a solid team player. I'm excited about what he's going to develop to be. Steve Kerr, after his 13-6-2 in preseason start, he was a plus 10 in 30 minutes. Steve Kerr says, I won't hesitate to put him out there in the regular season. I have that much confidence in him already. So this is pure coming from Steve Kerr. This isn't a speculation of, well, maybe there's a chance he'll get minutes, bounce back from Santa Cruz to the NBA. This is a clear quote from Steve saying, hey, I believe in him. I have confidence in him enough already to legitimately put him out on the floor if there's times when we need him. And after seeing him start, he kind of gives you everything you want from a starter. He plays hard, he commits to his role, he knocks the 3 ball down well, and he passes within the system. That's exactly what you want from a starting 2 or a starting 3 on your team. So I wouldn't be surprised if Steve Kerr finds some minutes for him throughout the season. And like I said, I expect Will Richard to be a guy who's the 4th or 5th guy off our bench come the playoffs. I would not be surprised if that's the case at all. Danny Emmerman on Twitter talked about how him being a potential fifth option in lineups, hit open threes, defend, hustle, make the simple pass would be a big win for a late second rounder. As he said, he hasn't looked out of place in small sample preseason action. And yes, we're just a couple of games through the preseason. First 2 games, he really didn't shoot the ball that well, to be completely honest. Ultimately went 3 for 5 last night. So it's a small sample size, right? We're not getting absolutely everything that we'd want to see from him yet, but I do think that he has the potential to be a fantastic guy off the bench contributing to this team, especially with the development of some of these other guys, maybe not being exactly where you want it. Like maybe we focus on getting Will Richards some early run in the season to see exactly what he can be down the line, as opposed to a guy like Seth Curry, who maybe doesn't give you as many advantages other than the shooting as Will Richard might. But again, time will tell. It's very early. Will Richard talked about the fact that he hadn't played or practiced with the first unit before tonight. Got word he'd start around shoot-around-ish. And then at the end of the day, he said it's just basketball, but it's definitely a little different going out there and playing with Steph and those guys. But this is what's super impressive to me, too, is they didn't even tell him a couple days before, hey, we're going to give you some run in practice with the starting unit. No. With the injuries to Moody and Butler and some of those other things that came up in the preseason, they told him literally during shoot-around, hey, it's go time. It's go time, Will. We need you to find a way to contribute in the best ways you can. And he really looked good in the beginning and down the stretch as well of that basketball game, and I was impressed with him. And to be able to come in and mesh with that team and that unit like he did after previously playing mostly with the second and third units, I was very impressed for what he was able to do on the floor last night. And then, you see here, this is what I think is one of the most important pieces of Will Richards' game, is the ability to play in a high-stress environment. Say it's college, different than the NBA, say whatever you want. This is the most important, one of the most stressful, high-energy level basketball games you will ever play in your life. National championship against Houston, has 18, 8, 4, 3, 2 steals and a block. I mean, everything you could want from a box score from a guy in a national championship in the role that Will Richard had. We moved up from 59 to 56 to draft him. Had a huge game in the national championship. He's got ice water in his veins, folks. He knows what he needs to do in big moments like this, and already meshing with the unit very, very well. And this is just proof that he knows what it's like to play in a big game, and he's proven time and time again that he knows how to execute in those big moments. Always prepared, always ready to come off the bench and make an impact. Certainly did that for Florida starting unit as well, and I'm excited to see what he's going to be for the upcoming season. We signed him to a 4-year contract. This is just more proof that, hey, we believe in what he can be, right? It's not a typical rookie deal. The 4-year contract, 2 years fully guaranteed, long-term investment for the Warriors, and I expect him to be a part of this organization for years to come. We've talked a lot about, hey, Brandin Podziemski, Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, you were the big three of what this organization is going to be for the next 10 years if you stick around. But now building guys like this around them to say, hey, let's create a little bit of an environment of some other role players that we can trust as well to be heavy contributors. And now when you start putting guys like Will Richard there, even like a Pat Spencer, somebody like that, to say, hey, let's figure out what the DNA of this team is going to be down the line alongside Podziemski, alongside Kuminga. And Will Richard's a guy that I'm super excited to see what he's going to bring for years to come. When you look at this box score from last night, we talked about Kuminga, we talked about Al Horford, we talked about the 28-point performance from Steph Curry. But Will Richard, plus 10, he's the third highest plus minus in the game. 60% from the three-point line. Free throw shooting is something he did pretty well in college in the 80s, I believe. Didn't shoot it great last night, but that's okay. Rebounded the ball, assists, steals, did everything he possibly could, and I was really impressed with who Will Richard was. And I think this is just more proof that he can find a way to mesh with any unit. He got 29 minutes, most out of anybody on the floor, and he found a way to work with every single group that he played with. And that's, I think, a testament to the type of player that he is. Like his game really works with a lot of different styles of basketball. I expect it to work well in the starting lineup. I expect it to work well with the bench guys as well. Another just housekeeping thing that came out today, Marquise Bolden, Tavion Kinsey, were ultimately waived, as announced today. Bolden appeared in 2 preseason games. Kinsey appeared in 3 preseason games, tallying 2 rebounds and an assist in 13 minutes. These guys didn't get a whole lot of run. Tavion Kinsey was one of the first people that I touched on when I joined the channel. I think he was the first video I ever made, was talking about what Tavion Kinsey could be. I expect both these guys to have potential Obviously they have potential. I expect both these guys to be NBA players at some point in their careers. Tavion Kinsey can jump out of the freaking gym, and him in particular, I expect to be a solid role player down the line for a team. He's just not quite there yet, but I do think he will be. He's a fantastic player in college. His university, he was the all-time leading scorer throughout all the years at Marshall that he was there. Super stud, and I expect that those guys they'll do well down the line, him and Marquise, and I wish both of those guys luck. To finish out, we saw this. Steve Kerr will not leave the Warriors for a different job. This is from Anthony Slater. Anthony Slater does not lie. He will either step away from the game or be the Warriors head coach beyond this season. And I think this is important to note just from the standpoint of, hey, this isn't it, right? Steve Kerr feels like, hey, maybe this isn't the last run for the Warriors this season. That's why Al Horford's on a 2-year deal. That's why we signed these other guys to multi-year deals, right? Steve says, hey, I think I've got a little bit more run in me. If I'm going to leave this thing, it's not because I'm going to be jumping ship elsewhere to another team. It's because I'm going to throw in the towel, maybe be an announcer again, maybe spend some more time with the wife and kids. Nicholas Kerr, his son's on staff, right? Maybe he takes over. Who knows? But I will say I'm excited to see that he's going to be sticking around for a while. I couldn't see him in the Blazer coaching for anybody else. I couldn't see that, and I'm excited to see how he contributes, especially with the younger guys, to try and develop them a little bit more. So once these other older guys like Steph, like Jimmy, like Dre retire, we'll have an opportunity for him to lead that second unit of guys, that new age players for the Warriors, and I'm excited to see how that turns out as well. Will Richard's a stud, man. He's going to be a lot of fun to watch throughout the season. Do you think he'll be a contributor, a key piece of this Warriors roster? Let me know down in your comments section down below. I've been Houston Bo. You guys have been the fans. Thank you so much for tuning in. 6 days away from Warriors basketball. Folks, cannot wait for it. And as always, go Dubs. Peace.